Hello and welcome back to another video. Today, after being in my yearly hibernation,
I thought my jokes were bad.
I have finally resurfaced to talk about the Revenant, so let's get started. First of all, this film is stunning. The Revenant is a true cinematic experience. It's a story of survival, grief, loss, and revenge, while also containing 40 minutes total screen time of Tom Hardy mumbling. The story is another huge highlight of this film. It was based off a true story, but obviously it was dramatised. It is set through the perspective of Hugh Glass, or as I like to call him,
Huge ass!
who was an American frontiersman / trapper and trader. A bit like the funny man in Inscription, but more violent and bear-mauled. The film starts off with an incredible realistic battle between the trappers and Native American tribe. This scene is just one example of the artistic, gritty film this is. Many side characters die during this scene, but the main group manage to escape. Glass then decides to go out on his own and gets attacked by a female grizzly bear. This scene is another example of how realistic this film went, as the attack is almost exactly how a bear would act. For example, when Hugh is playing dead, the grizzly ignores him and only reacts when he reaches for his rifle. Kurt tried to bring him along, but he becomes too much of a burden as his wounds and injuries prevent him from walking or doing anything really. Eddie Brock and Sid from Toy Story are then tasked with making sure Glass goes out peacefully. That doesn't happen, and Glass' Native American son ends up being murdered. This scene, while being one of the most heart-wrenching scenes as you watch an extremely injured Hugh having to witness his son being murdered, is also the main drive for the film. Thinking Glass is on the verge of death, Tom Hardy's character Fitzgerald hastily buries him alive, leaving him to die in the snow. Oh, I forgot to mention, there's snow! Glass, after a while, manages to get up and says his final goodbyes to his son's corpse for a good 4 minutes. The film then evolves into the pathway to Glass's revenge on Fitzgerald as he gathers his strength. Hugh manages to crawl down to a nearby river and attempts to drink the water, but due to the attack he experienced from the bear, he has to cauterize his throat. This is another of the amazing scenes throughout the movie, as it really shows the grittiness and realism that DiCaprio had to go through. It then cuts to the main group, bar Fitzgerald and Bridger, walking through the snow. The captain of said group looked back in regret and sorrow as he was the one to make the decision to leave Glass behind. The film cuts back to Glass trying to find nourishment as hunger begins to set in. The next sequence then shows him escaping from the same natives by floating downriver. After some backstory from Fitzgerald about his father's hallucinations, the film delves into a reoccurring nightmare sequence that Glass sees many times. These dreams give a unique insight into Hugh's character without much dialogue. These scenes are stunning and resonated with me on my first viewing of this film. The film continues with Hugh's survival before he meets up with Hikuk, a native who is from the same tribe as Hawk, Glass's son. They share some unique moments together as Hikuk attempts to heal some of Glass's wounds. This is ended when Glass comes across Hikuk's cook dead, killed by French traders. Glass catches up to the traders and steals a horse. He manages to escape relatively unharmed, but is caught by the natives, again who give chase until Glass and the stolen horse plummet over a ledge. By some miracle, however, Glass survives and guts now dead horse in order to stay warm. Glass then starts travelling again. The trapper group, now back at their main camp, stumble upon a survivor of French traders who carries Hugh's water ball, evidence that Hugh is alive when they thought he was dead. The captain orders a search party to go out and they find Glass stumbling through the forest. He is rushed back to the camp where he explains what happened to him. By this time, Fitzgerald has already escaped. Glass and the captain manage to track down Fitzgerald, but the captain is shot. The finale ends with an amazing gory fight scene between Glass and Fitzgerald as both men tussle, giving each other minor injuries till Glass gets the upper hand and puts the dying Fitzgerald in the river as he floats to the natives who finish him off. The film ends with an amazing send-off as Glass hallucinates that his wife is there before probably dying of his wounds. film is truly amazing, with incredible cinematography, emotional music, and a great cast. The lengths that the actors and director went to making this film an epic are truly breathtaking. Acting skill in it is amazing and believable, and the emotions from the characters are so real. The music is incredible and adds to every scene, amplifying the watching experience. A film that you could base it on in terms of story structure would be Gladiator, as they both lose their family to someone they disliked and had to build back up to the top and killing the enemy but also dying themselves. And this is not necessarily a bad thing either, as this film's structure works incredible for this kind of film and is one of the main reasons why I love this film. Overall, this film is a must-watch with its stylistic cinematography and ultra-gritty realism. The emotional scenes really stuck with me and was the main drive for me wanting to talk about this film in the first place. I'd rate it 8.9 out of 10 and would highly recommend it to anyone who wants a raw, exhilarating story. With that being said, thanks for watching and I hope you stick around for my next video. Goodbye.